All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at something incredible, a pattern, a kind of architectural secret handshake that's been hiding within one of history's greatest wonders, connecting the most iconic structures of ancient Egypt. So let's kick things off with a question that's been bugging historians for, well, centuries. You know how we all see the pyramids as these huge, magnificent, standalone monuments? But what if they aren't standalone at all? What if there's a secret, interconnected design plan linking them together? Well, it turns out when you look at a bunch of these structures together in what some researchers call the Sneferu golden chain, a really strange mathematical relationship starts to pop out. It's a pattern that's literally been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Okay, so let's get into it. The whole thing starts with a specific sequence of numbers. These numbers show up over and over again in the dimensions of different pyramids. Think of it like a recurring melody in this grand, epic symphony of stone. This progression right here, this is our first big clue. Now, these aren't just random figures, they're measurements in ancient royal cubits, and they form this clear step-by-step sequence that grows in a very, very specific way. And here's where it gets really interesting. There's a hidden operator. To get from one number to the next in that sequence, you just multiply it by roughly 1.309. This scaling factor, well, that's the secret key that seems to link one pyramid's design to the next. And we're not just talking theory here. This number connects real architectural pieces from famous monuments. You've got the half base of the Red Pyramid, the base of the Maiden Pyramid, the base of the Bent Pyramid. It's like they're all nodes on this incredible invisible chain. So this brings us to the real mystery, right? It's one thing for us to spot a pattern with modern computers, but how on earth did builders, working centuries apart with just simple tools, manage to pull off this kind of precise geometric scaling? Well, the answer, it turns out, it probably isn't found in some lost, super complex math. Instead, it's in an elegant and repeatable geometric method that is just, well, it's breathtakingly simple. The key here is something called geometric construction. Now, this isn't about plugging numbers into formulas. It's all about using physical tools, things like ropes and stakes, to create perfect proportions right there on the ground. And ancient surveyors, they were absolute masters of this. Let me walk you through this because it's so cool. It's a simple four-step process that needs nothing more than a rope and some stakes. You start with a square, you find the exact middle of one side, then you anchor your rope right there, stretch it to a top corner, and just swing that rope down in an arc to the baseline. That's it. And yeah, check this out. This diagram shows the whole process perfectly. You can almost see them doing it right there in the sand. That simple physical act of swinging the rope creates the new, longer baseline. It's a set of instructions you can pass down just by showing someone. No complex writing needed. And here's the crucial part. That physical act of swinging a rope in an arc naturally produces that magic number, 1.309. They didn't have to calculate it. They didn't need to know the number at all. They just had to perform the action. The geometry literally did the math for them. You know, a discovery like this is a total game changer. It completely reframes how we think about Egyptian engineering. It shifts our focus from what complex math did they know to what clever things did they do. The evidence really suggests that this entire proportional chain could be laid out using just the simplest surveying tools you can imagine. No hidden formulas, no lost technology, just ropes, stakes, and a really deep, practical understanding of how shapes work in the real world. This insight is just so powerful. It grounds the genius of the pyramids not in some abstract, mystical theory, but in practical, hands-on ingenuity. It puts the tools, quite literally, back into the hands of the builders. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does this all really mean for how we look at these ancient wonders? Well, it basically reframes their entire achievement. We can move away from this old idea of mysterious lost calculations and embrace a new understanding of a brilliant, practical, and repeatable method. Their genius wasn't in the numbers themselves, but in the elegant simplicity of their process. So what we see today as this really complex numerical pattern was probably just the natural physical result of a simple tool and a technique being used the same way over and over again. It's not some mystical code we have to decipher. It's more like the fingerprint of a master craftsman's favorite tool. And this just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other mysteries of the ancient world are we totally overcomplicating? What other secrets are hiding right there in front of us, just waiting for us to stop looking for a complex formula and start looking for a simple, practical solution?